Okay. What was the last thing we speak about? I don't... yes. Scrying in practice. Now I will tell you something which you will do, but please don't do now. Just follow my instructions so you will know what to expect. You will put the fingers, the pointing fingers, like this, so this part can cover your eyes, like you want to wash the tears from it, but you are doing this when you are close the eyelids. So it will be first you will close your eyes completely, and then you will put the whole tops of your fingers like this to cover and press a little bit harder on your eyelids. Now you will fixating, you will have closed eyes. Even if you want to open your eyes, it will be impossible because your fingers will press the eyelids. You will observe a point before you in the darkness. You will fixate it while pressing and holding very hard, not at the level of pain, but you need like engraving the fingers on the top of the eyelids so you can squeeze them. You will sense the pressure. You will start to observe a point before you, fixating in the center of your eye visual, and one wonderful thing will start to happen. Firstly, you will start to see entropic lights. Blue, yellow, green, and purple. While you are doing this, you will observe and noticing to put attention on your peripheral side, because when you close your eyes, you will see the circle which will be limited. Pay attention on the edge of that circle, nothing more. Fixating before, but pay attention on your circle. The light will start to appear, very concrete colors. You will continue to fixating, and you will see the shapes, usually geometrical patterns, rectangles, squares, and circles. Exactly the same occurrence when you will go to sleep, but you are not aware of it. The light will start to increase. It will be so light that all the darkness from the beginning will be fade off. Everything will be full of purple, yellow, green color with the patterns, which will start to move. Whatever happen, don't change the eyesight. Fixating on one point, don't move, because everything will disappear. Also, don't weaken the pressure of the fingers upon your eyelids. You need to pressure them like you want to squeeze them, but not with the pain, but you need to hard squeeze them. When I say, I will say, now I will count to 10. When I reach 0, I will counter 10, 9, 8. When I say 0, you will release your fingers and open your eyes suddenly. You will not be able to see anything before you. The vision will be the same. And you will see how vision will start to fade and the light of this reality will overcome over this picture. This will be your first scrying mechanism, which in fact is the same but in opposite direction when you are doing the real scrying which we are talking about. So, sit comfortable in a chair. Now, take and press and hold. Press and hold. Press. Observe. Soon, darkness will start to get lighter. Press harder. You will see yellow, now green and purple, also the blue. Fixate before you and watch peripheral vision. Continue to fix without moving your sight. More. The light will intensify. More. Press harder, fingers. Don't move, Yannick. Look in this color. You will see the clouds of lights before you. Watch them closely. Fix on them. More. More. You will start to feel your consciousness is changing. You will see the lights and patterns, the darkness dancing before you, and it will be everything but the dark, like phosphorescent colors flashing before you. Now I will count from 10 to 0. When I say 0, you will suddenly put your fingers out of your eyes and open your eyes suddenly. In the next few seconds, you will not be able to see anything. The visual of this color will be before you, even with your open eyes. Press your fingers more, like you want to squeeze the darkness from your eyelids. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. This is exactly how scrying looks. Now your vision is start to regain. And soon it will recover. The first few seconds while you are opening the eyes, it's the same scrying material which will come when you look in the crystal ball of darkness with the peripheral vision. It's the same. It was very pleasant and very nice for the eyes, and it's good exercise. The patterns and the colors you saw, it's quite biological, and it is the same particles which, if you continued, will transform into the dreams. This is how the dreams are built. We just build them in a few seconds. When your consciousness is changing, you can even make exercise and change the patterns and the colors by your will. Of course, sometimes you need, Caroline, I hope that you regain your sight. No, I'm not, I am in different world. I hope that you are returned. Do this from while to while. You will even be able to see shapes, wonderful colors, usually geometrical, very, very simple. This is what is happening when you are going into dreams. Exactly. This is material. You see the glowness of that light, phosphorescent light, usually yellow, purple, green, depending on which part of the, even if you now do this, it will be much more increasably. You can exercise this, and it's very good for the eyes, but don't put too much pressure. Use just so you can provoke entropic light to appear. And you see how your consciousness is now a little bit changed, like you are returned from a dream. And congratulations, you have your first real scrying. No mumbo jumbo from the books, invocating the gods to help you, to demon to appear you. No. Everything that you need is all that you already have with your body. Now, this exercise, it's only to show you what material will be the black cobweb when you will observe the dark object with the peripheral vision, when your attention is resting on your peripheral vision, it will start to be glowing exactly like this, exactly the same light. It will start to eat your whole vision from the edge to the center, like monster. And once it starts to come to the center, everything will disappear, but again it will be more and more, and in one way you will keep your eyes opening while you are not be able to see anything. Exactly when you open your eyes suddenly without seeing anything before you. Exactly. That would be what we need. But in this way, when I show you, you return to your wakefulness. How? Very simple, because of the light. The light affects you and awakes you, like in the morning. Light produces serotonin and gives some other hormones, which is very important for awake state, or the beta phase of the frequency of your mind. Now, when we are doing scrying, we are not going into the awakening. In fact, we do awake, but not in this reality. We are preparing our mind to working more, to be like in REM phase. Remember, when your mind is working more, but you are not focusing on sensation which are physical. Exactly in that time when vision starts to change, and it will be a wonderful moment, very easy. You can even do this today in the evening. You will not be able so much because your eyes will stopping you from blinking, but even if you blink, you can have this sensation after 10 minutes watching in the dark object in the center. You will see that eating of visions, which is natural outcomes. Your mind will react automatically, and your body will start to feel like you don't have position. The same attainment as if you're doing asana in your yoga, Raja Yoga exercise. Now we are not going into that part, which is totally a different kind of experiment, but I want you just to keep watching, fixating the thing on the center, but more and more your black cobweb will start to interfere with your eye visual. In, I don't know, in a week, in a 2 week, you will be able, after 15 minutes, very easily to watch like this. When you have the colors, it will be the same. Not so much colorful, but the same material. Glimpse of darkness, like plasticine. It will be not dark. We are calling the darkness, but it is everything but the dark. So much different colors, shapes, contours. You will be amazed how magnificent things you can observe in that darkness. Now comes the very important part. First, most people, when you are doing scrying, when you reach this point, start to vibrate the name of archangel or entity or anything that you want to invoke. Totally wrong. Very easily. When you start to move your lips, it is the same as starting to move your body before reaching sleep paralysis. What will happen? You will be awake. You will not be able to come to slip into a dream, because body movement, even a little bit, will give information of your mind that it needs to be awake. Moving lips, having sounds, you are not reach the state where you can speak without losing the visual change reality. So if you start to vibrate the name of the archangel in that period, you will simply lose any you will start to lose this blackness which is living, and you will return and you will see the object before you, and you need to do everything from the start again. Don't vibrate the name or anything to do what you want to invoke, what you want to have. Your will before scrying, it's enough to tune your mind so you can see what you want to see. When we was children, watching horror movies before our sleep time, what happened when we go to bed? We sleep and dream the same horror movie in different ambient combination, but we move the same energy from the movies into the dream state. It is the same link. You don't need anything except your will, so you can construct the patterns and architects of your visions. You can use very simple solution. You can use, the black crystal ball. You can use a black marker, so you can draw the sigil of desired, let me say, entity or intelligence, but you don't need to see it. You only need to know that there is, but you will not be able to see it because it will be on black color, the same black color which is colored by the ball. You only need your side attentive awareness to know that energy of that ball will be linked to some intelligence. You can say a couple of times the name of intelligence before you sit. Or you can put in a triangle, which you write the name of the demons or angels or spirits, and you can put your crystal ball in it. But please, you pay already enough for this webinar. You don't need to pay more for rubbishness in your life. Don't think that writing the demon's name will in fact invoke the demons. It is just a signal to your mind, to your peripheral attention, that you put that on the scrying ball. So scrying ball will start to resonate in your will with the frequency of desired location. It will be exactly like in lucid dream when I tell you that the next time in your right pocket will be a blue pill. When you take a blue pill, you will start to fly. But you know that I didn't put a blue pill in your right pocket. It was your will now who put that in the future. And the moment you remember in your dream about my instructions to look into your right pocket, will instantly create that pill. It is not created now, but the moment you remember then, so you can cut, copy, paste past and the present of what you want to see. So your mind will think it is a one and the same link, which is not. It is your will who want to see something, nothing more. There is no entity, there is no demons, there is anything outside of your peripheral existence. Everything is inside of you already. So, when something starts to be seen, you are not doing anything. You are just observing the peripheral visions coming in the center, covering with the blackness, with the open. Never close eyes in the scrying. You will destroy everything. With the opening the eyes. And in one way, you will see that you are staring in the blackness. The same blackness from the material that you observe when I did this exercise with the lights, but without disappearing. Everything will be in front of you, and you will see that your level of mind setup will change. You will be drastically changed in a trance. It will be in the both time more awareness, but in the same time you will be lowering your there is no way I can show you this specific kind of consciousness. You will reach it and you will know it. It is fast, and in the same time it is very slow. I don't have enough words because it is much different consciousness than in lucid dreaming or in some other exercise or meditative rituals, examples of changing the way your mind is working. Scrying, it's really unique, and you need to experiencing. Even if you don't want to scry, 15 minutes, 20 minutes of looking in that way, when blackness comes and colors your vision, can substitute hours of dream. There is a days that I don't sleep at all. I don't go to bed at all. I just use this kind of watching for 15 minutes and that's it. My record, it's 9 days without a minute of real. I think the world record it's 11. And I didn't have any problems with the first 7 days at all. Nothing. 8 days was a little bit difficult. 9th, I see the drop of my attention, but I think I could reach the world record without any problems. You can use this kind of watching even if you are outside driving in a bus. Just fixating one thing, but observing the circle of your peripheral vision, and it will recharge you like the phones is recharging when you plug it in electricity. It is very healthy for a brain. For me, it is like, I don't know, it's like making the love. You will see how pleasant it can almost give you orgasm, but not physical one, but it is pleasant. It is really physically pleasant. You will see that your brain will start to give you the warmth and everything, but you are not going to sleep because you will have your eyes open and lights will give you enough serotonin so your mind will be in the same time awake and the dreamy, the sleepy. Now this is only theory. I really don't know if is any scientifically or any real truth about it, but in my life, whatever I speak, I'm speaking in my personal experience. So if I manage to do this, I'm certain other people can. And there are a lots of people during all these years who simply do this, what I'm speaking, and we are sharing and updating. Maybe you will tell me something that you discover so I can check. Everything that I speak, it's not the part of singular research. I talk with so much students, people who sometimes push me in another way. I'm giving you everything, packed without any misleadings and failures and faults. And it sounds easy because it is easy. Your believing it's not is what your spiritual work make miserable. You want something to be hard, so you will have excuse not to do it. But if something is simple, then what is your excuse? When you meet a guy who is too much intelligent, too much busy, too much attractive to his mother, too much loving the nature, too much going into vacation, then you have excuses not to open your heart and to be sacrificed in the sake of love. But if everything is simple, when you have everything, then what is your excuse? In spirituality, we simply need hard things so we can say to us, okay, Dusan, you try, but this was very, very hard and it is normal for you to fail. No, it is not normal for human soul to fail. Failure and fail, it's a surname of lie. It's a surname of misery. Our whole selfhood, it's built from the particles of successful billions of years evolution, not in biological way, but in a way of growing the universe. Everything that you have, somebody already have it and improve it so you can use it in a successful way. When you fail on something, it's not showing that the method it's wrong. It's showing that you are not putting mosaic pieces in a right combination. Very simple. You see how much I like to emphasize simplicity. In practical life, of course, it's not so easy, but I want you to build a habit to accept things as a simple solution, as a natural outcomes, as a totally weird and natural outcomes which we calling success. Success is simply the ego word which show that you are the one who success in all this. But in fact, billions of your molecules, atoms, that you get from the stars, from the all past lives in this universe, are helping you, telling you all time what you need to obtain. But there is a problem. You are not listening to what is speaking to you. The knowledge and conversation of Holy Guardian Angel as attainment, which in Western Hermetism is something similar to jhana, which is corridor before samadhi. It's expression that we need knowledge, which we need to conversate in a very simple way. But that conversation is not obtained with somebody else except you. You are doing this conversation with yourself. Everything that I am teaching you today and last few Sundays, I'm just showing how mediocrity like me, miserable in his life, without any precious talent, happy outcomes, lucky outcomes which are part of karma, totally normal guy achieve something which is written in a books in totally different way the books describing. If I could do it here with my body, which is very normal like yours, so you can do it if you follow the same steps. I didn't have nobody to speak about exercise, when to get up, what to do, it is just my nose. Follow your nose. It's the best path in the universe. Remember this. From all instructions in this webinar, if you forget everything, I will forgive you, except not forgiving that following your nose is the only route for you in this universe. So, we are continue to speak about scrying. When you have covered visions with this kind of glowing darkness, dark cobweb, what I'm calling it, if you are staring, nothing will happen. You can stare and stare and stare. There is a trick how you will transform everything into a crystal vision, exactly like in lucid dreaming. You could do, and like me, years passed when I reach out of the bed in the darkness of the void without any vision, until I start to rub my hands and touch the surfaces until I get the vision. You need a trick. Stupid trick which will change a way your expectation will build your experience. I cannot speak precisely what you need, but I will tell you from my experience. I spent a month of everyday working, watching every day the same blackness coming while I am fixating at my black crystal ball. and no matter how much time I continue with it, I'm stepping more and more into the trance, but the vision simply didn't appear. I don't know how and in which way I find the trick, how the vision will finally appear, but I will just mention situation with the television maybe 20 years ago. If those who are enough old like me remember that television has the button with frequency, and you can change, like in radio, you can change the frequency of the radio channel by tuning up and down the bar, which will show the frequency of radio emission. But when you need to find the proper channel, you will reach what we call the white noise. Without anything. This is exactly what you are having when you are observing that black cobweb. It is white noise. You are receiving a signal, but you are not tuned to it. You need to change the level of tune so this dictating sound can be transformed into the radio channel. It is sometimes a couple of millimeters left or right until you will get a radio transmission in a proper way. What we are doing in a scrying, what you are doing with the hands on the radio, it will be your attention with the scrying. Now it is the most important part. You need, from all this blackness, to start to expect something to appear. Once more, now you are not fixating things, watching peripheral visions, because everything will be black. You now expect something to appear, and I will tell you exactly what kind of expectation. Remembering when we was child, invoking spirits at the birthdays when we was young. Usually, couple of us put the fingers on the top of the glass and we say, "Spirit, Spirit, give us a sign." And we wait. In one way, in 1 second, because usually there is a cheater in the group of children. Somebody will put something, some form, some sounds. But that moment when this trickery, it's put a sound purposely, we all change our minds because we, with our attention, expecting something to happen. And when it happened, we reach internal orgasm, eternal enlightenment, because something is manifesting, and in that period, our energy start to really invoke the spirits, but in the first place, it was not the spirit who moved the sound at all. This is the power of mind, which used expectation so it can change the level of your awareness. Everybody knew that somebody put a sound, but nobody know who did it. But your attention don't know who did that. And when it heard, it is like in horror movie, when music is starting to increase and you will see the hero, it's opening the doors everybody know that killer will struck with the knife. And the music increase, and no matter how much we all knew about the killer will kill the hero, we change our perception when the knife is pulling with the horrific music and everything, and we get fear. We change the consciousness because of expectation with the music. This is the same thing which we need to have. You starting to watch this darkness, expecting something to appear. Now, don't ask me what needs to be appeared, because precisely that question will ruin your scrying experience. It is you who will create this mislead which you can follow. Whatever you need, your mind will give you. Suddenly you will see little light in the corridor of your peripheral vision, or you will see a green line, or you will think you see the eyes, but it will never be in front of you. It will be on the edge of the peripheral vision. Why? Because the ego and control freak in you will not let you anything to harm you before you, but your selfhood, who is much older than ego, will give you gift slippery by the side of your peripheral visions, where your ego don't have that kind of control. Everything that needs to be happen will start to appear somewhere beside. Now, whatever it happen, it will drastically change your consciousness. It will increase the trance, because sometimes it will be sound. Usually, in my case, it is a sound. I start to listen the birds singing. In the beginning, you will think that it was the birds from outside your house. But as you are increasing the trance, watching the blackness, I will see that birds are so close that are fact in my room. Then my mind will start to see a tree, and I will see a birds on that tree, and in one moment everything will appear, and the birds and the tree and everything. What I want to tell you, you need to follow the path and the sign, the signal, which your mind will just deliberately put in all this blackness. It will be so little that your ego will not crush, but it will be there. So you can follow it, and you will sleep while you will be awake. That is the whole trick. It will be like a drug, which you will not sense that when you took it, you will be drugged already, and there will be no point returning back. Now, when that happened, you will see finally contours of the visions. You will see usually horizon. Your mind will simply make a difference from all that blackness. You will see the horizon. After that, you will see the sky and the ground. Sometimes you will see from the color of blue. Sometimes you will see the sea, oceans. Your mind will construct everything from these few basic colors. It's totally irrelevant what it will be. It will be shown to you that now you will use vibration of the name. Because now when you start to vibrate, nothing will fall apart. You can even start moving your body, but please don't do that in the beginning. I'm just speaking what it might be possible. You can start to move your body without vision to fall apart. Of course, the minimal movement, the better. But you will see, you will reach a point where nothing special can disturb the scrying vision. Now, if you want to talk with Archangel Michael, don't vibrate the name, because vibration of name too much will put attention from visual to something which is physical, and you will return to the body. Vibrate the name only once. Your mind think, the more you are repeating the name, there are bigger chances of intelligence to come, which is totally nonsense. Intelligence, it's not there like a children playing a game on a street, so the parents need to repeat billion times his name, so angel will say, "Oh, I'm sorry, I play Roblox on my tablet, sorry papa, I will come." No. Intelligence is a part of your mind who is already listening to you much more than you are listening to him. You don't need to speak a name, so the intelligence will look at you. No, intelligence is already there, constructed, but you cannot observe it. You are in a white noise state of being. You are speaking the name so your mind can tune to the frequency of the reality you already projected the moment you start to scry. It is like, this is my last action plan from a week ago. This is exactly like action plan in lucid dreaming. The moment you start to write it, that moment you created an astral realm, and making happening that everything that you write, you can achieve on lucid dreaming. If I write as an action plan that I will go to the moon with teleport, when I go to lucid dream, remembering my action plan and opening the door behind my back, when I close the door, I will be automatically in a moon. But if I don't write this, no matter how hard I'm trying to visualize the moon in a lucid dream, it will be very hard for me to reach the moon, because there is no link in a mind between two impossible objects, between success and the failure. You are building purposely success with the intention of your mind, not with the method. You don't need a proper, I see the people say, you need to get crystal of amethyst or crystal of, I don't know, quartz, gold, silver. If you don't use proper silver, then scrying will not work. Are you really think that material of your scrying ball can really do significant that you will scry or not scry? Do you think that putting a proper stone below your pillow will give you sleep or not sleep? If you don't do it regularly, if you don't invoke proper angels of dream, then you will be without your dream. No, you can go lie in your bed, you can go lie in any bed, and you will have the same dream. So don't expect from outcomes from this world to so much inflict into what we call success. Now, when you are vibrating, Do this only once. Now it's the most important part, because everything that you will see before you, it will be very simple, very, very simple pictures, like the pictures that you got when you squash your fingers, but even more concrete, with geometrical shape and everything. You will be much more changed in trance, which is far more important, but it will be this. Don't expect castles with dragons and with the army of orcs and heroes fighting. No, very simple pictures. Now, when you are doing and repeat the name of what you want to invoke, then pay attention to anything which will start to glow. Sometimes you will have a little bridge, and when you say the name of the Michael archangel vibrating, I will show you how the vibrating should be done, you will see that there is a light under that bridge. And what you will do, you are not fixating anything. You are turning your eyesight to something which is shining under that bridge. With your attention, you finally stepping out of the physical sphere of your visual field, and you divert to another world, to the world of scrying visions. In that time, you are already changed. You are already sleeping with the opening eyes. No matter where you are looking, your eyes, if I catch up with the camera, and I did that, all time is fixating before. No matter how much I think that I even move my head, I didn't move it in a physical way at all. But remember, scrying, it's not lucid dreaming. You do not have possession of three-dimensional movement. You don't have so much touching sensation. You are not in the REM state. Your mind, it's not working like I talk last few weeks. We reach a similar state, but there is no movement in a vision. It is like watching a high-definition movie before you, but you will still be in your room, in your body, watching the movie. Lucid dreaming is going into the landscape of a movie, so you can interact, be the part of the movie, and maybe the prisoner of that movie once you get into it. But when in scrying, you are a little bit further, with much more control. You don't have a limitation like lucid dream have, because it have only a 15 minutes, half an hour if you are an adept of experience. In lucid dream, in scrying, you have time as much as you can sit without having a pain in the back. Now, when I speak about the pain in the back, most people say, no, I don't have pain in the back. You will see how painful it can be when you are sitting without any movement. Even after 15-20 minutes, your back will start to hurt. And that pain will do exactly what we don't need. It will awake you. It will shake your mind, priorities, the sensation, so the pain over time will be much more in experience than visual field. And in one way, you will sit speaking and seeing the real angel before you, and 5 seconds after, you will be in your room with attention to your pain. pain of the body is usually what will bring back to your, how to say, physical reality, to your normal physical visual field. This is why we need in spirituality so much different branches develop in the same way. So when you are dealing with exploration of inner worlds, you need to know your dreams. You need to work with your will. You need to work with your eyes. You need to work with your sitting positions, with yoga. So only now I'm just count a few things which are using a lot of your time. Not matter how much you will be successful in your scrying, you will reach a point there then sitting in a position longer than half of an hour without any movement will be pain in the ass. I will show you what I built as my way of doing the things. It is very simple. So, this is my piece of wood chair, and this is most important things. Why? When I do this and when I sit it, you see the circle? I can use the gravitational center of my body, so my back will be like on spear. I can just use it so I can be inclined, not letting my spin to go this, but to be like samurai when sitting, without letting your back to go down or up. You will be like on balance, and that balance will be much easier to achieve because your body weight and gravitational will find a perfect spot when you will be simply like put it in a spear. Very easy. You can build it on your own. You see how it's difficult. Yeah, I built this. It is 20 years old. 20 years old, and I can give you the measurement, but you can play. You can find. It is called like, I don't know, meditational chair or yoga chair. I don't know. I build it. Most of people have without these circles, and I build that circles because with them you can simply justify even a millimeter sometimes means a much longer scrying possibility. And you will see, just to see your questions. Wait, single focus. Yes, Pavel, give me in 5 points what I need to speak and spare you 3 hours of my talk. Yes, you never blink. You will, after 15 minutes, you will not sense your eyes at all. You will not have need to blink because there will be no eyes which need to blink. Everything will be so clear, and you will even lose sensation of your body. You will be just one little point who will observe everything, and peripheral vision will start to eat everything, and you will be a presentness who will observing the blackness of the universe, which will be very live and colorful, exactly when I speak to put the fingers between your eyelids. The same mechanism. My wife wanna kill me because my whole closet is full of magical things, and most of them I don't use anymore at all, but I keep them because I'm the Cancer in the zodiac, and I want to have backup of the backup and to have everything just in case sometimes in maybe 100 years, maybe sometimes I will need it. So I keep everything. All my toys, everything that I have, that I use and don't use, I have it. So my wife will kill me, but okay. Now, when you change, when you see that something is glowing, go for it. This is a path which already constructed selfhood pulling you so it can give you a lesson. The whole point of scrying, it's not the same route as in lucid dream. In lucid dream, you are recovering your action plan, which is something your attention need before a lucid dream. Sometimes you simply want to fuck a good actor, you want to eat the best food in the world, you want to fly, which is totally okay. In scrying, that's not the case. Scrying is a spiritual lesson you need to learn. Of course, lucid dreaming, especially the last time, remember when I speak about healing and everything which is spiritual, but usually after a time you will lose lucid dreaming, mostly for fun, and scrying is a little bit more, for me, more spiritual. Firstly, you don't depend on sleeping time. Sometimes my life, it's totally okay. I have a private business and I work in school, so I can have my timetable constructed so my mornings are not so much disturbed. But if you have work in the morning, sometimes it's pretty difficult to try lucid dreaming attempt, because you will ruin the whole next day, because you will be very tired, especially if you have success in lucid dream. You will sense that you didn't sleep at all, and you will have a drop of energy, immunity, and everything. This is exactly why, remember when I said don't try each day, put maybe 2 days per week, especially never to have twice in a row. Scrying, it's a little bit more relaxed. You can do it anytime. When you have enough experience, you can do it even when you're driving a car. Now, somebody can ask me, how can two consciousness can exist in one way? How can you don't crash a motorcycle? Of course, I'm using not so much intense examples, but yes, I did that. Sometimes when I go to concert, when I'm just listening to music, and especially in cinema, I always use a scrying, because I'm using the cinema and I'm projecting what I want and not watching the movie, but I'm watching what I like to see as a spiritual movie, and nobody can see that. You can see when you reach that level, you can play and experiment in your own way. But there is very, very simple answer. There is no two consciousness which are using two bodies or two visual informations. There is only one. There is no astral, lucid, or awake Dushan or Yannick or Caroline. There is only one Caroline or Dushan or Yannick, which change the frequency instantly of what it wants to have. But the main question is, how can you, in the same, we will talk when we speak about the body of light technique, which is the hardest and for me the most important exercise of all. How can you see with your eyes, not to have the blackness like in scrying, but in the same time be in another body doing something else. How the visual informations simply don't interfere. There is very simple explanation. If you have, I don't know the name, a telescope, when you are watching the sky, there is a two type of person. Most of people observe telescope closing with the eyes which are not close to oculars, and one eyes opening and seeing the moon. Wrong. In astronomy, in all places where there are professional scientists, they will learn never close other eyes. Then you will ask, but how is it possible to observe distant planet with one eyes and with the other enlarge moon? The reality of such practice is much more simple, because when you are watching with one eye's moon, your attention totally dismiss visual information which other eyes is giving you. Yes, you are seeing two things, but you are observing only one which you want to observe. So, example, try this. Use telescope and look one thing with the opening both eyes. You will see there is no need to close and open eyes so you can change visual presentation. No, you can do it with your will, just with your attention. When you are putting attention with the right eye, who is watching moon, you will see only moon. But now, when you want to see something else with your left eye, instantly your eyes will not observing the moon. Your mind will just take the other eye without closing the other. Try this in your life if you have telescope, and you will see how important it's not to close one eye so you can focus on something else. Dirigents, when directing the orchestra, don't listen to one. He's listening to all. His mind, it's not focusing, but widening to each aspect. In scrying, we are not focusing. Most of people will say it is very important to focus, yes, for the beginning, but you are just using focus for the eyes, but your attention, it's not on the object which you are focusing. Your attention, it's on your peripheral eyes. Remember that. And success will, believe me, you will shorten your period. Instead of myself, when I lose, I think maybe 5-6 years until I get my first short scrying vision, which in fact now I need maybe 5 minutes. In the worst traffic, playing with kids, driving a motorcycle, I need a 5 minutes so I can have a scrying vision with full color, with full detail, with everything. I'm not talented. I'm just using the things in a right way. Remember that. So, the most important part, when that happens, when you start to vibrate, stop. There is a vision like an entity, like a living, like a snake, who will transform everything, and finally it will take a shape on your spin. Spin is an idea who are using your vision with the method of vibrating, writing, anything, but it is no matter. You can use it even if you don't have a tongue. You can just repeat the name in your mind. Sometimes repeating aloud will get you a better result, but don't think it is crucial. It is just imagining that all that blackness, it's like plasticine the children are playing. Your will form a shape of that universal plasticine of whatever you want. You just need a means. The means for shaping the plasticine is your will. Vibrating, imagining, see how it is suits you. For me, speaking what you want to see before you, exactly like the lucid dreaming, it's the best way. But there is a difference. In lucid dreaming, when you are speaking something to appear, it will appear behind you. You need to turn your back. In scrying, it will instantly start to appear before you. Mostly next 100, 200 successful scrying, you will reach a point when the entity will start to appear before you, and that was it. You will lose your energy and everything. You will be so excited that you will be returned normally to your wakefulness. It will be like remembering when we open your eyes, it will simply start to fade out and you will see everything exactly what your opening eyes are looking all the time without attention to it. The miracle of yourself when you see first time entity before you. When I say entity, you know that I'm not speaking about ghosts. I'm speaking about you in your essential shape and way. When you see that entity before you, it's like watching you in a mirror, but in some other form. That moment when everything starts to appear before you will be one of the most magnificent moments in your spiritual life. Now, lucid dreaming, stepping out, yes, perfectly. For me, when you see that kind of entity, before the entity in the lucid dreaming will be a little bit change. It will be three-dimensional, yes, fully, but there is something which need more. You need more wakefulness in lucid dream, so you can know it is real, which will be impossible, because the more wakefulness in a lucid dream will return you to the body. But in scrying, seeing it with your too much attentive awakeness, without touching, without sensation you have in lucid dream, but you will have more, you will stand you, will give you so magnificent moment that you for the first time speak with the alien, real alien, not the E.T. alien or demons, angels from the movies. No, it will be the shape from a different world, wanting to communicate with you, having something to give you, and you will be totally without any rational possibility to refuse the gift you already give to yourself. I read a lot about the people who advise to draw a pentagram before the creature, to check them with the names, to try to test them and everything. I never do that in my life, nor that silly things fall on our mind in that magnificent moment. Imagining that you have a most wonderful girl naked before you in the bed, and she say yes, come to me, and you feel, the horny, and you feel finally ready to sleep with the most sexiest girl in the world, and you start to check her with pentagram and with divine name, so you can check, is she real? Simply, I know what I would do with her. Surely I will not check her in anything. Believe me. So maybe I'm crazy, but I never in my life get any difficulty nor any experience which harm me more than I already harm myself in this life, with all my lies which I told to myself, with all my fear, my complex, with everything that I'm doing wrong. So think about it, and more than anything, ask yourself, with whom do you want to talk? Now, if I give you a possibility that you will have scrying, only one scrying in this world, after it you will not be able to scry anymore in your life, who you will talk? God or something else? Your mother who deceased? Maybe your grandfather? What and who you will ask to appear? Now, you will see that this kind of conversations with scrying, it's a little bit different than lucid dreaming. They have benefits, but minus. Definitely the bonus, it's the time which we'll need for that conversation, which it's much wider and longer than in lucid dream. Secondly, preparation and everything, it can be done very, very in small time. Let me say, from the wakefulness, when you start to watch a black object, until you get a final vision, in totally best outcomes, I need maybe few minutes, which is rarely. I always rush somewhere, have something to do, but 10 minutes, no more, for me. In the worst period when I was beginner, 20 minutes and that's it. Everything which lasts more, simply stop experiment and go do something else, because you will not get it. You don't need to have more pain so you can know it is painful. 20 minutes of failure is simply showing that you are not ready. Sometimes it's simply technical situation, sometimes you are too much alert, sometimes you are not alert at all. You don't need motivation. You are hurt because you lose a job, you lose a pet, you lose a lover. I don't know. Whatever it is, sometimes you need to have perfect combination and outcomes for mental stability. So write everything in your diary, even if it is a failure. Write why you think the failure is as outcome. Maybe you did something wrong. You must start from the beginning to crucify your whole method to check, is everything what I'm speaking? Maybe you don't need what I speak. Maybe you need to change something. What? You need to experiment. Maybe you don't need a scrying ball. Usually, and I'm telling you now because I didn't want to tell you in the beginning to crush your beliefs, I never scry with any object. Usually. I just need to darken my room, to watch a corner in a room, anything which is not bright, and vision appear in 5 to 15 minutes. Depends on my children, how much I'm tired and everything. You don't need to be tired. Remember, tiredness is good for some other things, but usually do this during the day or after a midnight nap. When you go to nap, when you wake, this is the best moment of doing. Also, when you wake up in the morning, the first 30 minutes will be the best mind setup. But don't use scrying as soon as you get up. No, you need to wash yourself. If you are taking care of your hygiene, there is a lots of people who don't wash themselves, and when they go to the bus, they have bad smell. Don't do this. This is 21st century. Wash yourself every day. Take care of your body, and take a good breakfast, very nice breakfast, and after go to scrying. 15 minutes. Just use to accustom your mind, knowing that you're doing something different. In the beginning, your mind will fight you, especially with the eyes, giving the tears, unpleasantness, irritations, and everything. But with the time, it will come. Also, you can do this practice each day. It is not like lucid dream that you need to have a break. No, the more you are doing, the better. This is the scrying. So, just to see if there is some questions. No, sorry, to see. Okay, let me give a 5 minutes break just to wash myself. I'm a little bit sleepy, and we will finish until 7. We have 45 minutes. Okay, 5 minutes break.